even when she was a kid. I mean, everybody really liked Gerre.
I thought it would be a challenge for her to take the job at the Evangel Home. And it was a challenge, and she's the first one to say that those first few weeks and months were very difficult. She didn't know what she was getting into.
I didn't know what the Evangel Home was. She didn't know what the Evangel Home was.
Gerre was new to the board, and Gerre is a visionary. The home was just the home.
She came in as a person who I thought had everything, you know. But down through the years, I just saw more and more growth.
But Gerre always says that God brought her to the Evangel Home to help her grow, not the other way around.
Well, I can think of an instance when a young lady came to our church. She had been abused by her, I don't know if it was a boyfriend or husband, and she had 2 little children with her. We had nowhere for her to stay, we had no options. And this story's happened more than once. And she says, all I had was clothes on my back. And you could see where she had been, abused. And I said, boy, what do we do? Do we call the police? Do we take her to the hospital? What do we do? Well, I called Gerre. Gerre said, bring her over. That's happened more than once,
One of the most exciting things when I was president is that the house next door came up for sale. So, and it was like, I don't know, $46,000 or something like that. The board we met on the steps of the Evangel Home with the pink door, and we voted on to trust God and to go for it. And so the attorney came to the door, and he handed her a check for $46,000. When you see a miracle happen, just like 10 o'clock in the morning we met, and we made the decision on the steps of the Evangel Home. And at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, she's calling me with the news. And it was almost down to the penny. It was just incredible. You know that the Lord is so mighty in that. And I just said, thank you, Gerre, for bringing this forward. She saw where the ministry was going to go.
She asked me to be on the board, and I said, Gerre, I haven't been on a board before. All I can give you is my heart and my prayers. She said, that's what I want.
Well, Gerre has made such a huge impact. When I go there for the graduation, she sums up things and gives them a little challenge. And it is always so terribly inspiring to me. I'm taking notes, myself. It's like, wow, that was so powerful,
Yeah, and I have loved being on the board and being involved with Gerre and watching her leadership grow and flourish, and watching her protect the home like it was her child.
And she said, come on, we're going to go over to the house next door. And she took me in the backyard, sat me down on the step, and along came Joby, a great big dog who had been homeless, and Evangel Home had taken him in. And Gerre used this as a test. If I had gotten up and run away, she would have kind of wondered if I was board material. But because I gave that dog a great big hug, I was okay. So that just shows you Gerre. She doesn't do things always the way that other people do.
Well, one of the things I love about Gerre Brenneman is that she's the first congregant I've ever had who has a collection of Pez dispensers. That's a new one for me.
You know how it started? It was at the Evangel Home. Somebody found in a donation box these little plastic Pez, and they showed them to her, and I think she just was intrigued with them, and that started it right there.
She's also very good at a skill called planking.
That's where you lay vertically on a surface.
For heaven's sake, going around town and planking on things, and then having pictures taken of you doing it, and then posting it.
We went to the state capitol, and at that time, Governor Schwarzenegger had a big bronze bear in front of his office, and it was roped off to keep people away from it. We went on a Saturday, there was nobody around. So here's these 3 middle-aged Christian ladies moving the ropes and going right to the bear to get Gerre on it for a plank. And that wasn't as easy as we thought it would be. We had to kind of hoist her up. And she was kind of rocking around, and we finally got her in her right position. And we took the shot, and that was her plank, and it was one of the most fun that we did.
How can you be a woman and not love chocolate? Or not like sweets? I mean, I don't think I could get through a day without chocolate, but Gerre doesn't need chocolate. She's just sweet enough as she is.
She has wisdom, and she can really figure out where to direct people. That's her gift.
I've looked to Gerre often for insight, for wisdom, for advice, for help.
She has passion for her Savior. She has compassion for the people at the Evangel Home. Her staff, she feels a huge responsibility.
I sat in a funeral with her, walked into a funeral with her one day, and as she walked in, the lady said, "Would you be willing to give the eulogy?" She said, "Sure." I sat next to her. I watched her carefully. She wrote down 3 notes, all while they were singing the first hymn. And she stood and spoke eloquently about the lady that had died.
Gerre, if I could wish anything for you in the future, it would be that you find the same satisfaction in whatever you do that you found at Evangel Home.
Your leadership is incredible. The way that you lead, it blows my mind, and it has inspired me to just be a better woman.
Thank you for all you've done for the Evangel Home, for the community, and most of all for me.
There are a few people in my life, Gerre, that I have the kind of respect for that I have for you.
And I remember I asked you, or one of the students asked you, that what are you going to do now? And you said you're going to do what you've always done as you go into retirement. You're going to trust God.
You're amazing. You've taught me so much. You've not only been a sister, a friend, but also a role model and a mentor. I love you.
I just am so proud of who you are and what you have done in ministry and in our city and in our church.
And forever will admire you for all that you've done for the Evangel Home.
And you will never know what it meant to me to have you give me a chance.
Make these the best days and best years of your life. Your legacy speaks for itself.
Well, Gerre, you did a wonderful job at the Evangel Home, and I'm sure they're going to miss you. But I'll be able to spend a lot more time with you.
That I have loved you and will continue to love you. And I wish you the best in everything.